Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Adventures at the Time Between Times. Sorry I missed you last week. Things overtook us. The real world stopped us from recording some epic quest for you. And the last time, if you've been following this series, you'd have realised that our heroes were in dire straits. Locked in the dungeons of Torverden, a rescue attempt failed dramatically. But in the meantime, and off camera sadly, our friends managed to escape, leaving the dungeon when the hobgoblins were out raiding. A spell was cast, a lock was picked, and our heroes managed to scamper out of the pit through the dark, turgid tunnels of Torverden until they climbed the ladder and managed to escape and head back to Garesh's holdings. There, our elven friends left to go back to the elven kingdom seeking help, and now a brave return by just 4 of our party to Torverden to rid the world of this hobgoblin menace in the dark depths of the Shadowdeep. So here we are. Our friends have returned. Garesh, Melter the Hound, Kyra the Barbarian, and Bet the Arcanist are heading into the tower's lower levels to find what they can find there. As you can see, I have a small table set up with some dungeon ruins, which are some of the WizKids dungeons. I am a bit bare in scenery, so please forgive me and I'll try and paint the picture in your mind as we go on. All our evildoers are assembled in the top right there, while our heroes, all 4 of them, are just outside the tower. The way this scenario works is by drawing a card every time our heroes enter a room, we will find out exactly what awaits them within. And then, I can see it being very combat heavy, we will make our way through the 3 rooms until we get to the upper levels, if we do. And that will be for another adventure. Thanks for all the kind words I've been getting over this series, and thank you for all the subscriptions and likes that everyone's doing. It's a bit of work, but it's enjoyable. And this is how, in these days where everyone is stuck at home, we've been able to get our wargaming done, get our quests completed, get our adventures done. So join me for the quest in the lower levels of Torverden. For those who are just joining us today, my name is Owen Staton. I also have a storytelling channel called Time Between Times Storytelling, and anyone please is welcome to subscribe and watch those stories. This is how we tell stories on the tabletop, and these are our heroes. Garesh, the youngest son of a lord, forced to combat the evil creeping Shadowdeep that seeps and soothes its way through the land. He is someone who's enjoyed his life, a drinker, a dancer, someone who likes being out and about and has not wanted this world of adventure in which he finds himself thrust. This is Melter, lightning. His hound accompanies him absolutely everywhere. This is his bodyguard, Kyra, one of the finest fighters in all the kingdom. She was humbled by the ogre in the depths of the dungeons of Torverden, but now healed, she bravely seeks revenge and to return and find out what is going on. And this is Bet the Arcanist. Bet is a scribe and a scholar and a gatherer of information. With what Bet finds out, we will be able to combat this evil much better. See what I did there? Okay, the adventure starts on turn 1. There's my dice there. I'll try and describe the action as we go through it. I'm using the fantastic Rangers of Shadowdeep by Joseph A. McCullen, and this adventure is called The Lower Levels of Torverden. As I said, the previous adventures, including a couple I've made up myself, are available on this channel, and please have a look at those and tell me exactly what you think. This is all about the storytelling, it's all about the enjoyment of the game, and it's all about us just spending some time together playing out this scenario and situation and enjoying ourselves. So please, I'm not brilliant on the rules, but what I'd like to do is just take us through what is going on here. So sit back, enjoy whatever you're doing, lose yourself for just a few moments here at the time between times, the time when it is neither night nor day, but the sun has gone and the sky is grey. This are the adventures. These are the adventures at the time between times. Our heroes make their way to the old ruined tower in the middle of the forest. It was once a watchtower, a beacon of joy and a beacon of light that could be seen for miles around. But now evil creatures have overtaken the cavernous cacophony of corridors that lie within the tower. So our friends make their way back there, having been prisoners of this dark place. Garesh, Kyra, Bet and Melte. On approach, Garesh will ask Kyra to try and pick the lock and find out exactly what's going on in this room. She is the stealthiest, and she also has a background as a thief and knows how to pick a lock. She has +3 to her roll in this skill. I will roll the white dice for the heroes and the red dice for the villains in this scenario as best I can, unless I lose one under the table. So Bet has a target number of 10. She has +3 to her roll. Hoof! She just about scores it. 13. She uses a lockpick kit, and although the lock is old and rusted and ragged, she manages to click it open. So hopefully none within have found out. Garesh has +3 to his stealth, so he will try and be stealthy and jest on a target number of 10. He rolls a 7, manages to open the doors within. So entering the start of Tor Verden, our heroes can step inside. According to the scenario, these rooms should be much bigger. The board should be much bigger. I did not have enough dungeon tiles to do that. So what I've done is, although my board is smaller, I will halve the movement of the characters, okay? So we are moving at a slower pace, and also my party is smaller. So it could be harder for me as well. So, but it should be a quick game. We enter the first room. Now the rooms are randomly generated by using these cards. Whatever card I pick, there is a chart here, and it will tell us exactly what is inside. As I've said, the rooms are blank. So please just picture in your mind what I described to you, that what lies within. Traditional, old-fashioned, very much a role-playing scenario. So the card which is drawn is number 3, red 3, the Armory. This room is lined with racks filled with weapons and armour. One clue marker should be placed in each of the 2 corners opposite the door by which the heroes entered. So we have a clue marker there, and we have a clue marker right there. 2 badly beaten prisoners are shackled to the wall opposite the doorway, and in the centre of the room, place a Gnoll sergeant in contact with the Solier. This Solier is treated as one of the Ranger's companions for the rest of the scenario. Use the stats of a man-at-arms, except that he is unarmed and does not have a shield. 2 other Gnoll fighters are in the room. One is 3 inches away from the sergeant on the line. Okay, very good. So we have 3 Gnolls. As I said, in the past, we don't have Gnolls, so we're using hobgoblins and we're using pig-faced orcs. Very traditional. Most of these figures come from the Otherworld miniatures range. Of course, this is a classic marauder ogre we have here. And here, the figures are Garesh, the old Citadel Felix figure. Melte is a hound from Bad Squiddo games. And as is Bet, she is from Bad Squiddo as well. Lovely range of figures there. And we have one of the Frostgrave fighters for Kyra there, okay? So, all weapons and armour line the walls. There are 2 prisoners trapped within this building, okay? A man-at-arms there and a dwarven man-at-arms there. And inside this room, as the door swings open, they turn round in shock and response. There is the sergeant, the villain of the piece, Dengar, the hobgoblin sergeant, who had treated our prisoners so cruelly in the past. And 2 hobgoblin and a pig-faced orc guard. So that is where we find ourselves. Now Garesh goes first. The way the scenario works, the way that the turns work in this game, is our ranger goes first, followed by any companions within 3 inches of him. So that would be everybody for this turn. So this turn, me, Garesh, us, and our companions will go first, followed by the hobgoblins, okay, and the orcs. These 2 prisoners are tied to the wall and shackled, so cannot be rescued at this point. So Using my skills, our hero here will enter the door, and he is going to charge straight in and attack the Hobgoblin Sergeant. Evil on his mind. Our hero Garesh has been a prisoner here. He has seen his friends humbled by this Hobgoblin, this awful creature who rules with an iron fist the Tower of Torverden. So here we go. The Hobgoblin Sergeant, we look at the stats here in the book, has a his fight, I believe, is +3, but let's just check the Gnoll Sergeant as he says in the book. Will it? Make my way through it slowly. I'll get there, folks. Stick with us. Here we go. The Gnoll Sergeant. Where are the Gnolls? Here they are. The Gnoll Sergeant has fight +3, the same as our hero. He also has an armour of 11, and he has 12 health points. Okay, Garesh charges in. Here we go. So he rolls the white dice, the Gnoll Sergeant rolls the red dice. Our Gnoll is taken by surprise, so therefore our Hobgoblin, is taken by surprise. We get +2 to our roll. So in we go. Oh, but again, it does not start well. We score a score of, our fight is 3, so that gives us 10, 7, +3 is 10, +2 for the stealth gives us 12. The Hobgoblin scores 15, +3 is 18. So even though Garesh rushes in, swinging his sword around, the Hobgoblin pulls out a small dagger and thrusts it under Garesh's armour. That is hard, that is harsh, that is a horrible way to start this battle. So a score of 18, our armour is 11, Garesh score is hit for 7 points of damage, leaving him on 11 hit points. A bleak start. He is thrust aside and pushed back. I'm going to go with Kyra, who rushes in to do battle with the Hobgoblin Sergeant. This time, where she is lucky, is she is offered support by the staggered Garesh. So she has a fight of +4 against the Hobgoblin's +3, and supported +2 by Garesh there. And wow, 20. Although she was humbled by the ogre, she has spent time in the dungeons and in the training rooms of her home castle, and there she has honed her arms and her armour and made herself stronger in order to come back and fight. In her 20, when she rolls a 20, that is a big thing. Now let me check. I believe that if it's not double damage, then it does cause a greater amount of damage. Let me just think, is it +3 or +5? Maybe you could tell me if you were here. Okay, here we go. Once a fight, complete combat score 11, combat score 20. Okay. I'm going to go with, rather than take up our time as I look through all these things, I'm going to go with the critical hits, +5 damage. Wow. Okay, Kyra has got a score of 26. Versus the Hobgoblin has a score of 18. Okay, so bang, that's taken away. So we have a score of 26. Take away his armour, which is 11. That leaves us with 15. Ow. +3. That leaves us with 18. What a start. She rushes in and hacks his head from his body, sending him plunging to the ground with a cheer, and raises her weapons and shouts, "Yes, victory! Victory!" But victory is brief, for this room still has a hobgoblin and a pig-faced orc here in order to hit us with combat. So she could find herself in a dark place rather quickly, unless Melte comes piling into the room here himself, leaping up amongst the weapons and the armour to fight this orc who is there with his spear. Okay, Melte has a fight score, I believe, of +1. The orc has a fight score of +2, but here we go. He scores a score of 2, which is pretty bad, isn't it? Whereas the orc fighting against our friend has a fight of +2, so that is a 12. Melte's armour is 10. He takes 2 points of damage and yelps and is pushed back. Beth the Arcanist. She is no warrior, but she is brave beyond compare and rushes in to do battle with the same orc. Okay, she rushes forward, supported by Mechta. She has a fight of +1/+3 against the Orc as they rush in, and she has done well. She has scored 15. That's 12/3, whereas the Orc scores a score of 5. The Orc's armour is 10, so he has 10 health points. He is down to 5 and staggers back against the wall, hit by a healer's staff as she thrusts forward to fight. The prisoners cry out that they will be saved and cry out for help as our friends rush in to do battle. It is the turn of the villains, of the bad guys, of the evil of these pieces. So here comes the Hobgoblin, steps forward to fight with Garesh. He is supported now by the triumphant Kyra. But the Hobgoblin thrusts forth with his spear, trying to do battle. He has a fight of +2/+3, so we are +5 compared to his +2. And yes, a victory as well. The Hobgoblin only scores 2. He is not confident and rushes forward, but nothing happens. Garesh brings his sword. Although he is injured, he staggers back and he scores a 12, and +2 is 15. So hits the Hobgoblin for 5 points of damage, pushing him back against the wall. This brave Orc rushes forward to fight Beth, who did him damage. He has +2. She has supported +3. They both score 1. Neither of them were masters. This was an awful roll. That will be a victory for us, but no damage cause, pushing the Orc back against the wall once more. What are the chances of that? Both score 1 hit point each. And that, my friends, is the end of that turn deep in the dungeon within. It's turn 2. Here we go. Right. As we can see, battle rages, absolutely rages back and forth in this first room of the armoury. There are weapons and armour thrown from the ceiling and from the walls, from the ceiling and all over the floor. But it's now the next turn, and it's Garesh's turn. So Garesh is going to step forward and fight the Hobgoblin here, supported by Kyra there. So +3, supported +2, gives us +5, Hobgoblin on +2. Here we go. Oh, it's a good one as well. He scores 16 to the Hobgoblin's 8. So in a clang of blades, the Hobgoblin is hit for 6 points of damage. That's enough to take him down. So therefore, victory there. Oh, okay, it's again, our friends will get to move first. So Kyra comes forward here and, supported by Beth will attack this remaining Orc. Here she comes. She is on fire this week, isn't she? She scores another 20. Another 20 to the Orc's 4. Supported, that's 24, 26. Take away the Orc's armour, that leaves him enough to be annihilated as he hits the ground, dead. Okay, we are in the room. The room is ours. The detritus of battle is cleared. Okay, there are no enemies to move against us, so we will explore the room and see what we find in here. Now, the scenario gives us some random ways of determining what lies and what treasures are within. We will release both the prisoners. Now, the scenario usually says that we can take these with us as friends, as companions, but because of the smallness of the board, we are just going to release them and let them go back to their homes, where they can start their lives again and perhaps help us in a future quest. Okay, we will explore this piece of treasure, rolling a d20, 17. It's a book of astronomy. You find a book of star charts. Any figure carrying this book receives +1 to navigation rolls. Great treasure. Okay, there we have that, the book of astronomy. And here, Bet will go and seek this treasure here and see what she finds. 13. A hidden note. Make a perception roll, target number 5. If successful, you find a note scrawled by the captain of the tower before he was killed, warning of the Shadow Knight that is now in control of the tower. Your first attack that damages the Shadow Knight in the deck scenario. Let's see. 13, yes. Scrumpled on a piece of paper, Bet reads and discovers the doom of a Shadow Knight that lives in the upper reaches of this tower. All of our friends shudder and shake at the thought of a Shadow Knight living around here. And maybe, just maybe, we will encounter him. We move forward to the next room, the second room, to find out what is within. Again, Kyra, using her stealth roll, will try and pick the lock target number 10. She has +3 to her roll and does it with ease. Already a man of the match performance here from Kyra, who's doing very well. And then Garesh, using stealth, will try and open the door. Yes, he does as well, just managing it to get us into the next room to find out what exactly lies within. Red 4. The Shaman's Workshop. Whatever this room once was, it has been completely transformed into a horrific workshop. The room contains some scattered furniture, all of it covered in animal parts. In the centre of the room is a table with an inanimate flesh golem lying on top of it. Place a Gnoll Shaman next to the table. Place 2 Gnoll fighters away from the table, between the table and the door to which the heroes enter. If the Shaman is still alive at the end of the 3rd turn after the room is opened, the flesh golem animates. Treat it as a normal evil creature. Oh wow, okay. So in here we have our Hobgoblin Shaman. And they're tied to this pole, ready for, and in the animation is a flesh golem. An evil creature beyond compare, ready to be animated. And within are 2 orcs, also an orc and a hobgoblin, guardians of the orc shaman, who can fight and do battle against us. The door is opened as their horrific ritual is being done in front of us. They chant and shout inside in a guttural language that nobody understands. But here we go. It is our turn. Garesh can enter, but I don't think he'll have enough movement to get anywhere near any of the evil creatures who are currently animated. So he will step forward into the room to here. Joined by Kyra, joined by Melte, and joined by Bet, protected at the back there. We'll have to surrender a turn to the evil creatures to find out exactly what they can do. Ha ha ha. Okay, we will go with the leader in the darkness. The Gnoll Shaman, or the Hobgoblin Shaman, stands forward and shouts orders to his companions to rush and do battle with our heroes. This pig-faced orc, rushes forward, his flail swinging around his head to attack Garesh in front of us. And that he does, rushing forward to do battle. Here we go. Let's find out what happens. Our hero scores a 10, but he has a fight +3, so that gives him 13. He's also supported here, gives him 15 to the orc's 5. But the orc's armour is 10, so the armour is 11 actually. So he only does 4 points of damage, leaving the orc on 6. It staggers back to the side, but is ready to do battle. Okay. Our the other orc with a move of can only get as far as there, so isn't in battle yet. This is the first turn that they are in the room. Right, okay, boom, let's go to the next turn. Right, we start with our heroes again. Garesh, okay, goes first. He's doing battle with this orc in front of him, and he will carry on. Oh, he's actually pushed him back, hasn't he? So he'll have to step forward in order to do battle against the orc. He scores 14 compared to the orc's score of 6. The orc is on 6 points of damage, takes another 4. He is badly wounded, but still staggering to do battle here in the dark depths of Tor Verdun. It's time for our other companions and heroes to move. Right, okay. I think it's knowing that what we know. We don't want this flesh golem to animate in front of us. So Kyra is going to charge in and attack the shaman before he can do any further damage here in the heart of the area. Okay, she has fight +4. He is a magic user with a fight +1. So here we go. Oh, our luck was about to run out at sometime, wasn't it? He scores 20. Although he is robed with only a staff, she must have underestimated his fighting prowess as she rushes forward. He scores 21 compared to her 11, so hits her for 10 hit points of damage, leaving her on 4 hit points. She staggers back, badly wounded, at this enemy who is now in front of us. Melte, rush forward and attack. Fight +1. The Hobgoblin's fight +2. Oh, he loses as well. 15 versus 11. 4 points of damage. for Melte. Melte goes down. Our faithful hound hits the ground with a yelp and is taken out of this battle here in the second room. Things are looking bleak, my friends. They are looking bleak. But that has not discouraged us before, and it will not discourage us now, as Bet, summoning all her courage, rushes in to do battle with a hobgoblin in front of us. Yes, she scores 12 compared to his score of 6, only hitting him for 1 hit point of damage. He's on 9, but still pushing him back to score a victory. Whew. Okay, this is turn 3. We need to get rid of the shaman in this turn, or things are going to look bleak. Battle here, supported by his faithful companion. Here comes Garesh to do battle with the orc who remains there. Oh, he only scores a 2, and with a 5, and supported with that gives us a 7 compared to the orc score of 12. So Garesh is hit for 2 points of damage, taking him down to 9, and pushes him back. But there, Kyra rushes in to do combat with this orc. What can she do? What can she do here? What she can do is wonders. Look at that. She scores 21 compared to the orc score of a mere 11. That slaying him outright as he hits the ground. Bang! But now all of a sudden we are up against it because the shaman is remaining. We have Bet, who will step forward and do battle with the orc here. Full of courage. But courage can only get you so far, my friends. 16 to her score of 10. She's hit for 6 points of damage. Leaving her on 4. Very vulnerable. That is tough. But still, we are going to battle on. Okay, it's the evildoer's turn. It's the evildoer's turn to help out. Okay, using the powers that we have here, the shaman, the rules for enemies, will attack the nearest enemy that he can with whatever powers he has in front of him. So he has a magic bolt, which he will fire, and there, using his red, he has a shoot of +0, but he's going to fire it anyway against Kyra, who ducks as the bolt hits and smashes, sending sparks shivering from the walls. She lives on. This hobgoblin here will rush forward to try and finish off our heroic Bet. Let's hope she has something left in order. Yes, she does. Look at that. She scores 17 to his score of 5. The hobgoblin rushes forward with his spear, but she steps aside and brings her staff whirling around to hit the hobgoblin for 6 points of damage. Wow. Okay, that leaves him on 3 points of damage as he swirls around and struggles. Unfortunately, as we go into the next turn, the golem animates this turn in order to do battle with us. Let's have a look. Is he in the bestiary here for us to see? Yes, he is the flesh golem, and he is a horrible being for us to battle against. Right, Garesh, your turn. You will rush forward to fight, charging into battle against the shaman. And yes, he does hit the shaman this time. He scores a 15 compared to the shaman's score of 2. The shaman's armour is 11, so he gets hit for 4 points of damage, hitting him down to 8 and staggers back. Kyra rushes forward, darts, charges through the black, dingy corridor, smashing into the shaman in his workshop there. Ooh, they were both masters. They both scored 15, but her skill at arms is far superior to that of the shaman, and she scores 19 compared to his 16. So taking his armour away of 11, that's 8 hit points, slaying him outright, and he hits the ground. Okay, I believe that Bet was out of the 3-inch rule at the start of that, so the enemies will go first. So the golem animates and turns around and does battle with Bet in the dungeon. Don't fancy her chances here, my friends, but let's see what happens. Here we go. The golem How does the flesh golem function? Right, he has a fight of +4. That makes him a difficult opponent at the best of times. But here we go. Oh no. Terrified by the tundra and the terrifying visage of the golem. Bet he scores 19 to her 2. But she has an armour of 10, but his 19 is enough to smash her to the ground. And our friend is taken out of this battle. This hobgoblin, although he's badly wounded, rushes forward to fight with Kyra. What a battle. Oh, he scores 10 to her 7. To her 9. So he barely wins and pushes her back, but does no damage, leaving us in the next turn. Garesh, step forward and do battle, my friend. Here we go. It's a cocked dice, but it's more cocked towards the 16. 16 to the hobgoblin's 5. That is enough to slay him here deep beneath the earth. And now the creature turns, steps forward, and does battle with Garesh. It stumbles and staggers towards him, a creature risen from the depths of hell. Let's see what becomes of it. Oh, he has the deadly strike skill, which enables us to do a critical on an 18, 19, or 20. Blissfully. So the flesh golem scores a score of 5 + 4, so 17 to our friend Garesh's score of 22. So it's a defeat for the flesh golem. The flesh golem's armour is 10, so we would score a score of, well, a maximum score basically. We've got 19 plus 3 for the damage done. That is it. Hang on a second. Let's work this out. We scored a score of 22. The flesh golem armour is 10, so that is a 12. He's got 16 health. We hit him for 15 points of damage. Staggering him back, but he lives on. Having to make this combat for Kyra, and she rushes forward to do battle with him. Let's see what happens, my friends. Let's see what happens. She scores a 14. There's 13. They both have +4. So she scores 18 to his 17. That is enough to end his brief reanimation and cause his bodily parts to stumble and be hit all over the ground. In this brief pause between the battles, in this brief pause between the action, in this subdued silence that happened between the rounds, our friends are now alone deep beneath the earth. Let me have a look. I didn't put any treasure out for that one, did I? Let's see if there are any treasure parts in the shaman's workshop. Let's have a look. No, I don't think there are. Okay. In the centre of the room. Yep, okay. Our friends, again, what is left of them. They make sure our injured friends are left hiding or helped in the corner, and they make their way to the door once more. Garesh has a potion of healing. So therefore, let's see what that can do. Potion of healing. If I can find it. Treasure, it was under, I believe. So let's see if he can heal his companions or himself before we move on to the next adventure. Let's have a look what we can find. Healing. Potion of healing. Restores 5 hit points and removes the effects of potion. Okay, so Kyra is on 4. He is on 9. He's going to heal Kyra to give her 9 hit points as well, as they come to this last, final, deathly room in front of them. Okay, she again is going to use her picklock skills. That have not let her down. The lock is picked. He is going to use his skills of stealth to try and open the door, and again, his stealthy nature on a 12 opens the door. And let us find what is in this final room where we can settle in and see exactly what is going on. This one is the ace room, the storage room with its wooden floor. is filled with boxes, crates, bags and barrels. True treasure tokens should be placed in this room, in the corners opposite the door which the heroes enter. So right here. 4 fighters are in this room. Okay, if the players, no penalties, at the end of the 4th turn to open the door to this room, to open the door to the next room, or suffer the penalty in that room. Okay, there are 4 hobgoblin and orc fighters in this room. So that, my friend, is a big ask for our 2 warriors. But let's see exactly what happens here. It is the first turn, and I don't think either of our heroes would have enough movement to get into combat with the creatures in front of them. They step in and remain side by side, facing down this plethora of enemies in front of them, who now take it upon themselves to attack. This orc rushing forward to fight with Kyra, the most courageous warrior in all the kingdom. Can he defeat her? She has +4 supported, gives her +6 compared to his +2. Oh. Neither of them cover ourselves in glory. She trips and almost falls as she enters with a score of 1, his score of 4. So he does defeat her and push her back, but does no damage, thankfully. This bow-armed hobgoblin brings up his bow and fires at Garesh. Let's see what he does. He has a score of +2 to Garesh is +3. And yes, it's a hit. It will be a score of 15 compared to Garesh's 10. So therefore he is hit. His armour is 11. So he is hit for 4 points of damage, taking him down to 5. An arrow embeds itself in his shoulder. Whew. This hobgoblin will rush forward to do battle with Garesh in hand-to-hand combat. He has a score +2 to Garesh's +3. Oh, it's victory for our hero. He scores 16 to the hobgoblin's 12. So the hobgoblin's armour is 11. He hits him back for 5 hit points of damage. Whip is on 5. And this final one, I don't think he's going to be able to get around. So he's going to make his way to here. Okay, it's the next turn. Right, Garesh is to go first. I think it's better that our heroes try and remain together. So if he can move here, he can try and be offered a bit of support by Kyra. So that gives him a score of +5 compared to the orcs +2. So here he goes in battle. 15 against the orcs 17. So the orc scores 19 compared to Garesh is 20. So therefore he beats the orc, hitting him back for 9 points of damage, leaving him on 1 hit point. That orc green blood splurts around the room as our heroes battle on. Right, here we go. Kyra will rush forward and try and finish this orc, who is in a dreadful state. Well, let's see. But sometimes a wounded animal is at its most dangerous, but on this occasion, neither of them score a hit. But we'll immediately move to this orc's turn, as he will try and do battle, supported by his friend there. So they're both on +4. He scores a score of 15, and Kyra will score 10, so it's a victory. He hits her back and hits her for 4 points of damage, leaving her on 5. Right, this orc will rush forward. They've not been the most strategic here, as the archer's view is now blocked, and he will rush to fight with Garesh, this hobgoblin, using his spiked whip. But it was a mistake, wasn't it? So therefore we score 17 to his score, dreadful whipping score. I think he's whipped his own leg there, and he is hit and scored for 7 points of damage and hit back. Right, this one will rush forward to fight Kyra. We're under a relentless assault here. Here she goes. Supported this time. She is supported for 2 + 4, so that gives her a score of 13, 15 compared to his score of 8. So she hits him back and hits him for 5 hit points. So he's down to 5. Right. It's Garesh's turn. Step forward, my friend. Do battle. This is a war of attrition here. It really is. Oh no. Okay, he scores 11. compared to the orc score of, she's got 19, and the orc scores 11, so 13. So that's a victory for the orc, who's on 17 to 19. No. He falls to the ground, sundered and battled and embittered, as the orc stands over him in triumph. Very good. There is no quit in Kyra. There is only courage and a willing to do good. She will battle to the last here in the lower reaches of Torverden as she rushes forward to do battle with the orc in front of her. She scores 2. He scores 17. She falls to the ground, battered, bruised and wounded, as the evil creatures triumph once more. A dark end to a dark day in the deepest dungeon, dankest room. Wow, that was tough, my friends. That indeed was very, very tough for our small party of warriors, intrepid warriors though they were. Let's find out exactly what happens to our warriors before we can move on to the next scenario. Let's find out exactly, should they live or should they die. The first to fall was again Mellter the Hound. I roll on the table. It's 20, full recovery. He is indestructible, it has to be said. Bet the Arcanist, 16, full recovery. She lives to fight another day. Kyra, the mighty warrior, 6, is badly wounded. -5 on our next battle. And Garesh, our hero and leader of this intrepid party, makes a full recovery. Where we go from here, I do not know. Whether we can face this darkness, which creeps inexorably towards our homeland, I do not know. Or whether we should just give in and fall prey to its doom deep dark that keeps pushing towards and overrunning all our lands. I don't know. But what I do know is that when next we choose to take the field, if that is what we do, you will be here to join us at the time between times, the time when it is neither night nor day, but the sun is gone and the sky is grey. It's a bleak day, a dark day, a doomed day, but we shall return to the Tower of Torverden, deep in the dankest forest, where we hope victory will be ours. Take care.